Hey guys, what up? Welcome to BSPL Podcast episode 8. Yes, we're 2 months into this thing. How exciting. We'll probably take a break after this one because BSPL is now over. We'll be reviewing the finals. If we get through everything in a timely fashion, which I don't think we will because we never do, but we'll try to get All-Star in this episode. If we don't, then maybe we'll have an extra podcast next week just for the All-Star week. But yeah, we'll see how we go today. Who we got here today? We got Path.
Oli, I'm Path.
Ika.
Yo, what's up?
It's Ika though, isn't it?
Yeah, but doesn't really matter to me.
I'm gonna keep calling you Ika. We got Jmal.
What's up?
And One Trick Pony.
Yep, that's me. What's up?
Nice. All right, like I said, we'll speed through it. So I'm gonna go straight to our replay thread that Ika has so generously put together for us every week for the podcast.
I actually updated it, even though I wasn't in the mood to. Just so you could talk about how we lost.
You're the best. No, seriously, because I did this replay thread for the first BSPL. I think that was it, and it was an absolute pain. Like, it took so long to put the posts together each week. And then Charlotte took over. He did a great job, and now it's Ika, who's done arguably an even better job. Yeah, we got finals up here. So should we go through it in order of how things played out? I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, Greil's saying he wants to hop in and do his game.
Oh, by all means, definitely. Can't commit to being there for an hour. When was Greil's game?
We can go slightly out of order. I think Greil's game was third.
Yeah, we'll just do Greil's game now.
Cover Greil. We can just do it in well, the first 2 games were the doubles games.
That's right.
No,
yeah, it was.
Greil's game might have been second actually. It was the first game. The first game was Mr. GX versus Morelli.
Yeah. I think it was second because Greil tied it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Greil won.
And then after that, it was Phil won.
Oh, I thought that was...
I spoiled it. My bad.
Well, I mean,
that's okay. It's already spoiled on the screen since I put the results.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Maybe people don't know what a bolded name means. I don't know.
We can just go through the thread and see the results. Yeah, so GX beat Morelli first. Oh, Greil's game was second. Okay, so we can just go through Greil's game now. That's good. That works. Look at the auto post in the thread. See, Greil, he's a thinker, all right? He knows how to figure these things out. Is he joining?
I mean...
There's some white pre-stream text. Okay, that's a good point. You're right. That's from before the live recording.
Oh, no, me too.
We are in the pre-stream. What are you talking about?
it's perpetually pre-stream. We just watch Lloyd Ladder all podcast.
Oh, we are pre-stream. Shit.
No. Greil, what up, dude?
Hey, how's it going?
It's good, dude. Are you in voice call with your family right now? Greil's at celebratory dinner, celebrating the epic BSPL win. Popping champagne. He's got a whole crowd with him on call. Let's hop into this game.
Actually, we have both participants in this game, which is pretty nice.
We do. Oh, we might have some spicy arguments here, debating the correct plays. All right, Greil, do you want to explain your team?
Well, it was like Thursday, and I was trying to decide what I was gonna do for my team, and so I basically had 2 ideas that I was kind of throwing around in my head, and it was, do I use something like with Helmet Hippo, maybe Charizard and something like that, and then kind of a standard comp to kind of go with that, or do I go meta Finny Rotom? So I went kind of back and forth on it, consulted people with it, and I eventually ended up with the meta Finny Rotom. I just felt like it was more. It's such a solid core, so I felt like it gave me a much better chance of at least not being at a big disadvantage at preview, which was my goal.
Right.
So that's right. Got it. And I looked at some of the comps with meta Finny Rotom, and this is a pretty standard one. I did go make sure Mimikyu would be on the team just in case. I was a little bit concerned that Greil might be brought.
Right.
So I wanted my Sig Curse Mimikyu as kind of an extra check, but also Metagross is, especially Bullet Punch Metagross, is really good against Greil anyway. So I just figured that was enough checks for that as well. And then the comps I saw in blogs and stuff with the meta Finny Rotom Mimi as the first 4 mostly had like either Snorlax or Porygon 2 as a normal.
Yep.
Then either like a second Mega or some sort of Landorus.
Right.
So I had Curse Snorlax, Curse Snorlax just it's a mon that it gives a lot of pressure at team preview. It's just so hard to kill. And then against certain offense builds, I might have trouble switching in. The Landorus is kind of a filler, but it's Scarf Landorus just in case I need something else to help with anti-offense.
Yeah, the team's pretty slow apart from Scarf Lando, so you sort of really need that Scarf in that slot. Alright, 1 TP. What about your team, dude?
Alright, so my team. Obviously heavily inspired by the team that Dragon Whale brought out. A couple things that I saw about Dragon Whale's team that I guess seemed like it would do really well against Greil's typical stuff is that it's usually just slower, bulky offense. I saw that his Tapu usage in general was really low, and of the ones I practiced, Finny wasn't a huge issue for Volcarona Sweep. Another couple things, I had Rock Tomb, Kangaskhan, and Icy Wind Gengar help with the setups. And then, I don't know, Whimsicott's just one of my favorite mons, and I didn't think anyone would be prepared to face that kind of offense, at least not at a high level, so I figured I'd give it a go.
Right, fair enough. So, what do you guys think in a team preview? Greil, do you want to maybe go through your thought process of what you're going to bring against 1 TP?
Yeah, actually, it's funny because I had been looking at my team basically a few hours for the game. I originally had Earthquake, which is more standard on Cursed Snorlax. I originally had Earthquake, but I looked at it and just there for some reason against certain steals, actually Kartana specifically was one of them, I felt a little bit uneasy, and so I ended up going with Fire Punch on Snorlax instead of Earthquake, which I think really ended up being a big benefit. But at preview, obviously the Vivillon is always a danger. With Haunted Tower having so much trouble with Vivillon, obviously I'm well aware of how dangerous that is. So even though I have the terrain, have Metagross, I always want to make sure I have an out plan for that if he does decide to bring it, kind of assuming that I won't bring my Vivi checks just because it looks bad here.
Right.
That got me in trouble against Kim Coop in week 2, where I kind of assumed he wouldn't bring Volcarona game 3 because I had a bunch of stuff that was good against it. But he kind of correctly predicted that I would just assume he wouldn't bring it because of that. So it's kind of a mind game there. But I also felt like Snorlax in general matched up really well here against most of the team, especially since it is carrying Fire Punch to 1v1 Kartana, unless like Kartana might be able to KO with Titanium, but can live a hit and Fire Punch back for a kill. So I'm like, I definitely want Snorlax, and I'm pretty sure I want Metagross as well, because the Metagross is EV to have a pretty favorable chance to live Shadow Ball. So I really feel like the only thing that really heavily threatens Metagross is the Volcarona, and I do have Zen Headbutt, so I can do a ton of damage to it.
Yep.
So I knew I wanted Metagross and Snorlax, and I think game one I also brought Rotom Heat. Rotom Heat also has a pretty good matchup. It checks Kartana, it checks Whimsicott, it sort of checks Volcarona, since it can Toxic and then it Firium, and it gets off a lot of damage at least.
Yeah.
It 1v1's Gengar unless Gengar has a way to incapacitate it. So those are three I went with game one.
1 TP, what about you?
Yeah. So I saw this and I was immediately shitting my pants. Like, all the stuff that I thought was like gonna be hard for me. So I was really banking on a different Mega. Metagross, like, while obviously it's a fantastic mon, really hurts this team. Couldn't bring out Kangaskhan really at all. Having that priority really hurts Vivillon. It doesn't matter if I have Tailwind up or anything. Especially the Metagross that he brought. So Bullet Punch, Hammer Arm. It's a stone wall and really checks most of my team. I saw the Snorlax. So actually, in my training with Arctic, he brought out a Snorlax, 3-0'd me, made me bring a Kartana, which I was like, I saw the Snorlax, I'm like, yes, I'm prepared. Was not prepared for Curse Fire Punch. I was prepared for Curse Earthquake Return, which definitely swung the game, at least a few of the games in his favor, for sure.
Great. Well, I'm just going to go ahead and press play now. So we see the Gengar lead into Metagross, and like Greil said, he lives this Shadow Ball. But he doesn't get it. So you said it had a favorable chance, Greil, to live. Do you know what the odds were?
I believe it's like a 60 or 65% chance to live. Maybe it's a little bit more. It was somewhere between 60 and 70% chance to live. Going out immediately into Snorlax and the Shadow Ball. But I wanted to see if I could just get rid of the Gengar. Especially since I'm packing Bullet Punch. It makes it very difficult for him to set up anything in the back if I survive the encounter with Metagross there. So I didn't really want to have to go into Snorlax. I wanted to try to win that 1v1. But obviously he got the roll. He got the roll, and I mean that's obviously calculated. It's a calculated risk.
That happened with me versus Dragonwell, where I actually EV'd for the super max, like where Metagross only dies to the max roll, which is a 6% chance, and of course Dragonwell got it turn 1, game 1, and just fucked me up. So I know what that's like. Noved asks in the chat, what was the idea with bringing double dancers? I think that's in reference to 1TP's Vivillon Volcarona team. Since I used pretty much this team to get 1900 on cartridge, I can pretty much answer that. It does seem like they're doubling up on rolls somewhat, but Volcarona sets up on a lot of the things that Vivillon doesn't set up on, and vice versa. So like Vivillon can't really set up on any Tapu Koko teams, but Volcarona very, very easily sets up on those, and it utilizes the same lead setup that Vivillon uses, like with Icy Wind Gengar or Rock Tomb Kangaskhan or Tailwind or whatever. So it does seem
you have to worry about bringing steals when there's a Volcarona on the opponent's team as well. Which like a lot of the steel types, like even like a Celesteela, for example, even if Vivillon can like sub Quiver Dance and put it to sleep, you can't really do much damage to like those sorts of Pokemon.
Right. I actually brought both of them to a bunch of games when I was laddering with it, because it's kind of like that thought process with like Charizard Wired Naga teams, where one wall breaks for the other and the other sweeps. So they worked like that in some games, but it's mostly like they cover what the other one's weak to.
Yeah, Yeah, so this Vivillon in particular is Hidden Power Ground. I don't know if that's the standard, but like it's really designed to check Heatran, which I know is one of Greil's really popular picks. So, which, I mean, Vivillon can beat Heatran, but it's sometimes a real pain in the ass.
That's interesting that you ran HP Ground on Vivillon and not Volk.
I thought it was on the Volk.
No, on Volk. Did I say? Yeah.
You said Vivillon.
I meant on Volk.
Okay,
Volk,
that makes sense.
Yeah.
All right, that makes
Sorry
sense.
Yeah,
That's all right.
The funny thing is, anymore, that's happened enough times against me now that, especially in like a team lock scenario, I've kind of gotten to the point where I'm kind of like, somebody brought a Volcarona against me. I probably should scout for Hidden Power Ground. Because Kim Coop has brought Hidden Power Ground Volcarona against me multiple times in sets as well. So, ended up, obviously I don't have Heatran here, so it ended up not being as important, but I do think that was a good bring when bringing Volk against me.
Yeah. And the other thing is, like, the other option is Hidden Power Ice, but with Z Hyper Beam, which is the set that a lot of these things use and I use as well, I can check the Salamence, I can check Landorus, kind of
breaks through, like, Rotom Heat and stuff like that.
And Rotom Heat, for example, as well, yeah.
Oh, Z Hyper Beam Volk's one of my favorites.
Yeah, the only issue is Snorlax is a hard wall to Volk. So,
well,
especially without a Roost, so I can't really heal back. Roost or 50% Berry, so I can't really get through.
The set I used on this team was Quiver Dance, Roost, Hyper Beam, Fiery Dance. So it was the opposite. It hard-walled Snorlax.
Yeah.
Because they'd all get flame-bodied eventually, so the Volk would just win. I'm going to press play. We can get this going. Greil, Sludge Bombs Greil for a good chunk. But Curse starts. Curse keeps going. Paper Cuts comes out. So Sacred Sword ignores the defense boost, but it's not going to kill from there. Yeah. Berry activates, and here comes the Fire Punch.
Yeah. Fire Punch is a mish.
Oh. I mean, that Whimsicott wasn't winning anyway, but of course.
It allows Gengar to Oko.
Oh, you're right.
Which is a little unfortunate, but...
This Rotom reveals Z Fire. It's interesting. I would have thought, Greil, you might have just gone for the Volt switch, or would that not have killed?
Yeah, afterward, I thought about it. I thought maybe I should have just battened down and made sure with just gone into the calc, made sure Volt Switch killed. But I was just in the mood of mess with it. I just want this thing dead because it wins me game one, and if it reveals a little bit of information, then so be it.
Yeah, fair enough.
Give it the kaboom.
Alright, game two. Quickly go into this. So Greil end up taking game one. 1 TP, your back's against the wall. What do you think in this game?
I mean, what am I thinking? I thought my brings overall were pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of like the stuff that I have, I was just hoping that like I just gotta be careful with Gengar. Like Gengar does check so much to this, and I wanted to keep it alive, or at least weaken enough stuff so that like if I can get a Tailwind for Cortana, I can start sweeping.
Mm-hmm.
And I was pretty confident in bringing the same stuff, and I was gonna see like I was thinking Greil might try to use a few other mons in order to like I don't know keep me fresh. But I was thinking regardless of what he brings, this is still my best squad.
Yeah.
I was considering Volcarona. I was considering Volcarona every game, but like Snorlax was definitely a little scary, and I didn't want to lose momentum using my Hyper Beam and then just having it 50% berry up. Yeah.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah, for I switched up my third mon to. I didn't bring Rotom Heat this game, which was probably a mistake. I switched up to Finny because I wondered if his adjustment would be that I didn't really bring my terrain to stop Vivillon. So I wondered if his adjustment would just be that he would bring it now and force me to show how I'm going to beat it if I don't bring Finny. So I brought Finny. The problem is Finny is absolutely no help in stopping the other thing that's really the thing that's the big threat, which is Kartana. And so yeah, oops.
So we go Lax on the Shadow Ball this time. It works out for Greil. He can sit here and take Sludge Bombs all day. So it stabs Gengar with Icy Wind, you said, 1 TP. Did you reveal the 4th move in this series?
I did. We'll wait for it.
Okay.
I think here I made a pretty big mistake.
Should have stayed in, I think.
Well, I expected an encore, which is why I switched. So yeah, obviously, I think switching Snorlax is not. If I had known Encore was not going to come out, then obviously I don't think I would have switched out. But also, I think when I went to Metagross, and I wasn't really thinking about Whimsicott's Memento possibilities, but I should have been. I really think Whimsicott does nothing to Metagross, though. So it does not threaten Metagross immediately in the slightest. So I think the play there to deny the setup that's about to happen was to stay non-Mega.
Right, yeah.
I was thinking that.
I agree with that.
In the middle of the battle, I was saying, why did he Mega Evolve?
Yeah, same.
No, you're absolutely right. That the Mega was a mistake. I should not have Mega'd there.
Right. Yeah, I think switching it in was fine. Because I think Encore was the correct play if Whimsicott had Encore. So you can't really stay in there and just get locked into Recycle, because then you're trapped and the setup starts against you. So the Metagross switch is right, but yeah, Mega Evolving it. That's where you blew it, Greil.
Yep, guilty as charged.
Hey, at least you're not taunted anymore.
Arm to hit this and OHKO it, because you can see I'm doing like 60% at -2.
Right.
But the other thing, I looked at some calcs. What was your 4th move on here? Because I don't think you ever showed it in this set. Because it's Leaf Storm, Sacred Sword, Swords Dance, and
Knockoff.
Yeah.
I figured it was knockoff, but so I looked to see if I could. I actually expected a Z to come out there, but I looked to see if I could live a +3 knockoff, and I could live +2, but not +3. So, at that point, I was in trouble. If you have something to kill me, I'm just going to lose anyway. So I have to hope you're like Breakneck Blitz or something that won't kill at +2.
Yeah.
Is Metagross not faster than Kartana? Am I being stupid?
Tailwind.
There's Tailwind.
But couldn't you?
And it's the bulky.
Yeah,
the bulky
I would have switched out and gone straight
Oh,
back
the
to-
bulky meta. Yeah, you're right. Because I was gonna say I would have.
Bulky. Oh,
It's not going to outspeed. It's going to
That's
outspeed
fair.
a Kartana anyway.
Right.
I actually thought about switch. I saw that the Tailwind only had like 1 turn left at this point, and I considered switching out partly due to that. But it just, I really think Kartana almost always runs max, so there's no reason for me to believe that my slower meta is going to outspeed.
Yeah. That makes sense. I was thinking that it was max speed, but you did say that it was the bulky one that can live Shadow Balls and stuff. So is it Adamant Metagross?
Yeah, it's adamant.
Okay, that makes more sense. All right, that's fine. And yeah, Lax just gets blown back, unfortunately. What was your 3rd? Finny, right? Yeah.
Yeah, my 3rd was Finny, so obviously I'm not. I'm just dead next turn anyway.
So Greil chose to do the 3DS off forfeit technique to not reveal the 3rd. We were talking about this in an older podcast where on the 3DS, if you don't turn off your DS, you're forced to send out your last Pokemon. So like, for example, in VGC tournaments, they're forced to do that. But then in some of the doubles games, the players have opted to just forfeit and not reveal their last, and people have been questioning like, should we make people reveal what their full team is, like, and then forfeit once they're in the the attack selection screen. But I don't know, that just makes it unnecessarily complicated, I think. People can just forfeit whatever they want on here, so they should just do it. We should talk about team preview here. So you guys, 1-1. Anything different going through your heads, or are you just going to go with the same game plan, really?
I mean, you know what? I guess I should have picked up that the Metagross was bulky. But honestly, I had mostly the same game plan. But I did think that last game that he brought Finny, and he saw it was dead weight, so I figured, let's go Vivillon this time. I can beat Snorlax if he goes Snorlax with Vivillon, but I still need to do something about the Metagross. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I made the calculated decision to do Destiny Bond, as you'll see in the first turn, but damn, I can't believe Metagross came in every game, and it should have, because this thing fucks my team.
I thought you were gonna bring Volcarona game 3, honestly.
That's interesting though that you say that. Like that roll game 1, had it gone differently, had Greil lived, then you would have picked that up, and then you maybe would have like not brought Tailwind and brought Volcarona instead, and that might have actually won.
That's true.
Interesting to me.
Yeah, so I honestly thought the non-switch out from Greil was a complete mistake, but I didn't realize he was just bulky.
Yeah, because I guess like the standard like Adamant Metagross is, I believe it's outsped by Vivillon as well. So you can even if the Metagross has Bullet Punch, I know it does like 60%, you can Sleep Powder Gross with Vivillon as well, which is something to keep in mind. Yeah. And obviously, Rotom Heat is levitating, so that's pretty much gone. So it you kind of have to bring Feeny.
So after last game, I was kind of processing, and I was thinking, I had a feeling he would bring Vivillon game 3. I felt like that was the adjustment he would make, because he's just shown how threatening his Kartana is. But at the same time, I just was like, I can't let Kartana win. I have tools to stop Vivillon even without the terrain. I have a lot of tools to do that with Bullet Punch meta, with Rotom Heat just kind of sits there in front of it until it wakes up from a sleep and Volt switches out. And then I switched it up. Instead of bringing Snorlax, I brought Mimikyu. It would give me an emergency, like if I can whittle Kartana down, then it gives me something that can take one hit with Disguise and like finish with Sneak or even Swords Dance into Sneak or something like that. And I also, if he's brought Gengar both games, so obviously Mimi is good against that. And then also, even though Adamant Mimikyu is outsped by Vivillon, I'm doing a ton with priority, so that was my thought process here. I thought like the key was do not let Kartana sweep, and then I can pick up the rest as I need to go.
Okay. We'll go ahead and watch this. We'll see the Rotom adjustment in the lead, and D-Bond comes out. That surely kills without a crit, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Comfortably.
Yeah.
Especially with an offensive, yeah.
If you stop here real quick, I actually thought this was interesting after the double kill, what we both sent out. I debated what to send out, but I felt like, once again, like with my thought process going in the game, I have Mimikyu in the back, and we end up not seeing it, but if I have Mimikyu in on Kartana is going to get the set up, and I'm in big trouble. So I have to go, like, my fear was that Volcarona would come out here. Like, everything else, Metagross is fine facing on literally anything else. And I had actually thought to myself, okay, this time if Whimsicott comes out, I'm not going to Mega. But I was a little worried about Volcarona. Depending on what the spread is, then Headbutt does a ton. But in all likelihood, even a little bit of Bolt guarantees a survival. And I really need Metagross to stay alive through 1v1 because there's not a lot Mimikyu is just plastering what's already gone, which is the Gengar. But
so we see the Z fight, but this time it only does half because there's no SD, and Hammer Arm because no Memento, just kills. That's very good for you. Vivillon comes out now though with a lowered speed Metagross, and we all know Vivillon loves coming out against things that are slower than it. Unfortunately though, we see a Quiver Dance come out. So that was just a raw misclick, right?
Yeah, it's just I saw like light green and dark green. I just clicked the wrong green.
Oh no.
Yeah. That being said, I sorry. What I was thinking was I was certain Hammer Arm was going to come out, and I still didn't know the speed tier of this Metagross. So what I was thinking later on is I should have probably switched in Vivillon. Vivillon actually double resists fighting, and I would have still gotten the sleep.
Right.
But I don't know. That's retrospect, I guess.
That's a very difficult play to make because obviously if you get that play wrong, you just lose. But yeah, I mean, in retrospect, I think switching Vivillon in on the Hammer Arm puts you in a pretty good spot because Metagross is probably going to 1v1 the Vivi. I gotta find a way to deal with the Kartana, which is a problem.
Yeah.
So that play would have worked because, well, you have to rely on sleep turns because you switch Vivillon into the Hammer Arm, it's slower, so you get something to sleep. Assuming it's Metagross, then you got to switch Kartana, because Metagross is going to be at full health in this situation, so Vivillon's not beating it. You got to switch Kartana on the first sleep turn, SD on the next sleep turn, and then get the kill. But since Greil has Mimikyu, Greil could go Mimikyu on the Z Hammer Arm.
Yeah, if I got Mimi on the Z, then that's also a potential problem. But
yeah, so I think like it could work out either way for both players. So I don't think 1TP's play would save him from losing here, but it also puts him in a better position. But Greil still has plenty of counterplay.
With 2 sleep turns though, you like if you sleep with Vivillon and then go into Kartana and SD, then doesn't +2 knockoff kill Metagross?
No, Greil said he calced that and said it only died to +3.
+3. Oh well. Okay, yeah, that.
Yeah, once it's just Vivi versus Metagross and Mimikyu, I think it's just I don't see like it's going to take immense RNG for Vivi to win this. I think the only way to even see Mimikyu is to get a 3-turn sleep, because the problem that a mon like Vivillon has against a mon with strong priority that's slower is that actually once the sleep cycle starts and you get a Quiver Dance up, you actually want to be slower than a Vivillon if you have strong priority, because you wake up, kill the sub, and then with the sub down, you can hit with your strong priority.
Yes, yeah.
Oh, it doesn't really matter because presumably you just always spam Bullet Punch, anyways.
Yeah, I mean I can do that as well. Either way is basically fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. The other thing is, I was considering like if I did that switch and then I did the sleep, I was thinking just Hurricane, hoping for a Confusion, and then a Confusion would have given me a really good spot as well.
It's not it's not Gen 5 or Gen 6. The Confusion's only 30% chance of happening. So it's not favorable.
Pretty decided, like.
Yeah, it's not favorable, but like if he gets one, hits himself in Confusion on a Kartana, I win.
Yeah, true.
Was my thought process. Yeah.
True.
Yeah. Regardless, Metagross is a beast, and it rightfully won this game.
Yeah, that was really good series to watch live. I was around for that one. I wanted to actually stream it, but I did not get to, which is unfortunate. But we're watching it now, so that's all that matters, right? Greil, do you have to head off now?
I can probably stay for another 10 or 15 minutes.
Because I think we're just going to race through the rest of these. We've got about 20 minutes.
Yeah, let's do the best set of the series. Our dubs.
The dubs ones?
Dude, the GX vs. Morelli series was insane. I
Well,
love
I'll
that,
just-
that so much.
I'll just press play on these, and we won't really commentate too much because, like I said, we're running out of time. But like we say every week, we're a team of singles players, so us commentating doubles would just be super cringe.
We need to see Confuse Ray Rotom mirror.
Oh. Yeah, we can do that. We'll watch this one first.
I like how game 1 was decided by a confuse into full confusion. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, the first like 10 minutes of that ORS series, I messaged a couple of my teammates. I was like, "What am I watching?"
Confuse Ray Rotom is not that bad though.
No, the set was fine. It's just watching them mirror was hilarious.
Yeah, like I've literally never seen those Rotom sets, and then I saw them versing each other.
Because you don't want to have swagger on Rotom because you also have Will-O-Wisp. Basically, you just like try and get behind a substitute. I think by them hitting themselves, and then you just spread status.
So, isn't this Mr. GX's like infamous ladder team that he always uses, or is it just similar?
The drum wax.
He just bought his standard
Gross
stuff.
wax, yeah.
He was like, "Whoa, no! What happened is, we looked at. I was pretty sure that Marilli. We were pretty sure that Marilli was gonna bring a Worlds team, like something from Worlds 2018, I think it was. So like we got a bunch of those teams, and just happened that Mr. GX is the team that he generally uses. His Suicune stuff matched up pretty well against a lot of what Marilli had brought in the season. So that was kind of the mindset behind it. No. Yeah, and I think pretty sure Snorlax belly drums 3 times, and that's what happens in this series.
He didn't get the belly drum in the first game.
Yeah, game 2 and 3 is just Marilli struggling to kill Snorlax.
Yeah,
and then getting killed.
So much intimidate spam, meaning that none of his physical attackers can kill it, and Snorlax has big SpDef anyway. So
this is just funny. Snorlax takes 2 moves and then just recycles back to full health. But yeah, pretty much you just switch between Incineroar and Landorus, and Snorlax has such a great SpDef stat that once you got the belly drum, you just spam attacks with Snorlax until the enemy team's gone.
Yeah, this is why Snorlax was banned in doubles OU, because it just actually is a tank, especially with Incineroar. It's such a great combination.
Wasn't the Snorlax thing in VGC Snorlax plus Mimikyu, or am I wrong?
Yeah, they had Trick Room Snorlax plus Mimikyu. The reason it was banned from doubles OU, I think, was because of Mew plus Snorlax, because you could
transform
with Mew on a belly drum Snorlax.
Yeah. Level 51, welcome to the stream, my dude.
Too.
Yeah.
So it's balanced.
Mew's pretty niche, whereas Snorlax is you have to bring a Mew to counter it in that case. And it's also still a speed tie.
In general, it has pretty decent utility as well. So, but obviously it's not at that level.
I remember this last game was just unreal.
Mr. GX has got... I don't want to call them lame. Let's call them cute nicknames.
So the adjustment Marilli made was to bring T-Tar instead of... Instead of what? Instead of Feeny?
I think it might have been instead of Finny. Yeah, because he brought Kartana this game, yeah.
Yeah, you have to bring Kartana against Snorlax, as we learned last set.
But yeah, these Intimidate guys just come in and out and just completely cripple Maruli's team. And Snorlax just sits there and kills everything. Oh, I remember this crit. I remember that being pretty important because if there was no crit, huge, you could have taken another one. Yeah. But now that's just put Tyranitar in KO range. That -1 Rock Slide does quite a bit.
Yeah, that flinch also mattered a bunch too. That kept Marley competitive in this.
This Kartana gets down to like -6, I think.
Who's getting killed in the background?
What the hell was that in the background? Someone's cheering. Like watching sport?
That's Greil's party.
Yeah, Greil's BSPL party in the background. Edu's just in there getting super hyped.
Right now, what was that sound?
He's got to stay muted because there's more of it, I'm guessing.
That's why he can't commit to the whole podcast. He's got to go off and party.
See, you guys trying to blame this on me.
Yeah, he's at the BSPL parade. Championship parade. Greil's just carrying champagne bottles through the street. He's on his phone right now talking to us. Snorlax actually gets out of there now because it's in KO range. Oh.
It only took like 15 turns of switching and rock slides.
Yeah. Oh, it lives that one. Oh, but it dies. Real Steel comes out, finally. We see another Pokemon for a change.
Not another one.
Sax Tyranitar to come back out. Yeah, I do remember this, yeah.
Metal Grass just cleans up there, because you have to Earthquake as Landorus.
Yeah, and it's Scarf Lando, so it can't not kill the Kartana there. So it came down to Murali had a crit chance of winning the series, which is crazy. That was a really interesting game. I watched that one live too. Sad. I was saying to Murali after the game, imagine if Sacred Sword not only ignored the opponent's defense boosts, but ignored your attack drops. Would have been so much better for killing that Snorlax. We were gonna watch. Oh yeah, this one. Oh my god. This is the set. So, Mizaka versus Moose. I sort of memed on these guys a fair bit in the previous podcasts. Just because it was funny, like in the finals of the BSPL, there was like two guys that were just not known for ORAS Battlespot singles at all. Mason Geese is a Gen 7 player. Mizaka was around for all of Gen 6, but Mizaka was just like one of our room mods who hardly ever played. And both of them throughout this BSPL season have brought like, I wouldn't call them cheese teams, but teams with like outs to certain teams that were just cheese. Like, I mean, Moose did bring a full one with like swagger everything and won a game, and Mizaka did cheese Pearl in one series.
That was actually against Misaka in the regular season too.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
I just
want to say that.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. I just want to say that although it worked out, Misa and Geese brought a Groudon Empire team, and that was a terrible decision, and it should not have worked out.
I mean, the thing was that we were like, I was like, because I gave Misaka the team that he's using and like I was 95% sure that Miss was gonna bring a GE team. Basically, so like we have like Mega Lucario, Mega Gengar, Lumberry, SD Landorus. I'm pretty sure it's Protein Greninja. So like, there's not really like that much in the way of that like the Fable shenanigans can like work in this matchup. But obviously, there's obviously a larger dimension to the whole team than that. I mean, one of the big things actually this series is that Misa's Confuse Ray Rotom is faster than Misaka's Confuse Ray Rotom. Which,
we're gonna see that in a sec. Yeah, Ika, can you sit closer to your mic? All of a sudden, you've gone quiet.
Yeah, I just think my connection's really bad.
It's perfect now.
Okay.
For whatever it's worth, you were totally right that team week 3 Moose brought was cheese. As the person who kind of initially put it together, I will fully confess it was terrible. It was terrible of me.
I mean, well, we brought cheese. Well, basically, like throughout the season, I think I pretty much did all of the ORAS, like all the teams that Misaka used, like pretty much I gave them. I think the exception was free versus Misingis. That was the only one that I didn't give. But yeah, I decided it was a good idea to bring cheese because week 1 because Thundress is broken, and that's about it really.
Well, like I was saying when I opened this up, I sort of expected 2 really weird teams from both of these guys. So let's just go ahead. No spoilers. We'll just watch this game 1. I'm going to put it on fast mode because, trust me, we need it. Rotom v Rotom. And it's Confuse Ray, sub. You'll soon see that they're both the exact same set. A set that I've literally never seen before, and I played Gen 6 for all 4 years that it existed, and I did not see this set once, and I'm seeing it at the same time on 2 different teams now. You'll see that Mason Geese is either winning every single speed tie for 20 turns, or he just has speed creep on his, and having that speed creep just makes him win.
But I think like a lot of the I don't think Misaka actually plays this like completely optimally, but yeah, definitely like the times that she's hit herself in confusion have been like really big. But
well,
yeah,
chances are it's gonna happen.
Once you know that discharge
to hit KO's sub.
To hit KO's sub, then you can never you should never get hit by Confuse Ray. Because you can preemptively sub once you know that Misa's
exactly.
Faster. Which is basically, this should have been a stall wall, but Misaka played it incorrectly.
Right, I agree with that. There are a few turns like that one there where she went for the Confuse Ray on an obvious sub from Mason Geese.
There's no point. Yeah.
Yeah.
But obviously, like Misaka was really busy this week, so I don't think she had much chance to practice, which obviously is not great. But yeah, it happens.
I mean,
to everyone.
It's not really a that's not like learning a team sort of thing. That's just understanding win conditions sort of thing.
To be fair, she might have thought it was a speed tie.
Well, you can't win a speed tie 20 turns in a row.
Once you've won 18 speed ties, then you've got to get the hint. I mean, there's some interesting plays in this set. Let's put it that way. I think from like
20 speed ties in 20 turns, that just means you have really bad luck.
So yeah, basically, I think Rotom ends up behind the sub.
Oh, Misaki for a Confuse Ray. I don't know about that play.
The Confuse Ray, this actually works out.
It works out perfectly. 2 hits in a row. I would have just got my sub up and tried to get out of there.
I think you sub up and then you confuse Ray.
Sub and then confuse Ray, yeah, because that other Rotom's not going to be in sub range, so it's always going to be vulnerable. This Rotom just continues to go on an absolute tear. Oh my god.
Discharge power into confuse Ray into confusion. This is literally what this it's like a Klefki that just does it, but basically it's like Klefki and Thunderous, except it doesn't lose like straight away to like certain like ground type threats.
Right. So we see the Citrus Berry. So I'm assuming that Mazaka didn't belly drum there because the risk of hitting yourself with +6 confusion hit is too much, right?
Yeah, and might have thought that discharge would 2-hit KO, but I don't know.
But also the Aqua Jet play. Yeah.
I think yeah, you probably just have to drum there, but
yeah, you gotta just either way,
like you're so far behind.
Yeah,
you know there is a chance that you don't like confuse for like 3 turns in a row, and then Kang will win here.
So we move on to game 2. I don't think this one was as long as the last one, so we can just watch it on normal speed.
No, this one's pretty short. I think it was like 7 turns, 8 turns at max.
So they've both gone to their Rotom checks.
So yeah, Landorus, is our team's Rotom check, and obviously the secret power not powering here doesn't really matter because Landorus is Lumberry. So yeah, just get damage on the Suicune, and Gengar like pretty much bones the rest of Mise's team, unless he's Scarf Landorus. So we see the outrage here.
Lumberry Chomp, interesting.
That is Lumberry Chomp, and therefore I think
not Scarf or Sash.
Because Gengar has Icy Wind, yeah.
Alright, very straightforward.
I think here, like, what I would have done, and, you know, obviously this is in retrospect, like, Misaka probably should have realized that Lucario is really fucking good. Because the Chomp is not Scarf.
Yeah. Yeah, so I agree with that.
Plus two Lucario Oko's every single thing on Mise's team. And
does it Oko Suicune? It probably does.
I'm pretty sure with close combat.
Yeah.
Oko Suicune.
Yeah, I was also surprised not to see Lucario brought at all.
And you can set up on so much of Mise's team.
Is it physical?
Yeah, especially considering nothing is faster.
Yeah, like it's the speed here is like it was physical Lucario.
Oh yeah, close combat's a favorable roll. That's pretty big. But where does it get an SD up though? Like it can't SD on Kang. It can't really SD on Suicune because it risks a Scald. I mean, but you can go for it because it's favorable.
It doesn't even need to. Like
I don't think it needs to.
Yeah. If it's in against Kangaskhan, like close combat 2 KOs everything. Close combat into whatever steel move kills Clefable, or it 2 KOs something. So you don't really need to SD. You just claim a kill every time you
just close combat. And I'm pretty sure that Rotom, like even if you're like switching in like say Rotom, like I'm pretty sure close combat does tons to Rotom.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's gonna do like 80. Yeah.
Yeah. Close combat is closer to 1-hitting than avoiding a 2-hit.
Yeah, so like the one thing that I took away from this set, and obviously I didn't really mention it like after the fact because you know obviously there's no Aura schemes left, so it's pointless. Is that like I was that Lucario should have been brought probably every game because it just like kind of destroyed.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I mean the play is like
that nearly Okos.
And you have like a classic. Well, it's not Volt turn. Is it not U-turn Lando? Because it's SD, isn't it?
It's SD Lumberry, so it's SD Earthquake, Rock Slide, and can't remember. It might be it might even be sub SD. Lando.
Right. Because I was going to say, with Volt Turn support, that Lucario just looks like it automatically wins. But we saw that it's Spadef,
yeah, I think,
lefties Rotom with no Volt Switch, and not U-Turn
I
Lando.
think the first game, I can see why you bring the Gengar the first game, because you're worried about Scarf, Garchomp.
Mm-hmm.
But like after you see the Lombardi, then I think like Lucario is pretty free. You just get to click attacks versus everything. So we see Suicune lead.
Yeah, I just started it because we got to move on ASAP. Yeah. But we see this great lead for Mies.
This is just really bad by Misaka, basically.
Yeah. Maria says this turn one was. So the Lando.
Suicune's revealed Icy Wind.
Yeah, revealed Icy Wind, and it's like, well, just get out of there, Lando. But Lando decides to SD, and it gets Icy Winded. And now Suicune Revenge will just, does that. But you can't really go Gengar because the same thing would happen. So I guess, what was, we'll see what the third Pokemon was eventually, but...
I guess that was smart by Mies, though, to lead Suicune.
Oh, yeah.
Because it was the only thing that didn't give Lucario that advantage, because it could Icy Wind it at least.
Exactly, yeah. Oh, Poison. I would have thought Mies would rest there. Or is he worried about giving up momentum? I suppose the Gengar's crippled, like something's gonna kill it after this anyway. Let Suicune die.
I think for Misaka, maybe a Azumarill is a pretty good lead. Thinking about it, because like, I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like Azumarill, Rotom, Lucario is really strong.
Yeah, because you kind of want to, like, the main things that you're kind of worried about on Misa's team is from the lead slot are like the Suicune and the Rotom Heat. Like, the main thing that checks Azumarill is the Ferrothorn, and there's no way you're gonna risk having a Ferrothorn when the opponent has like 3 Rotom Heat and also has a potential Mega Lucario.
I guess from Mizaka's side, if Mies leads Kangaskhan and you lead anything that's not Lando, you get put on the back foot and something has to die.
Yeah.
So I think you sort of you're forced into leading Lando, and I don't know, maybe Mies anticipated that and just got the free Suicune lead, which then it's like, oh well, everything else leads into Suicune, so that's a bad lead for Mizaka. But I think looking at it, you're sort of forced to lead Lando.
Yeah. The problem with leading Kang though is that if Misaka leads Mega Lucario, then something has to die.
Yeah.
Because this, I think the Kang was revealed to be like a secret power set.
It didn't have fake out.
It didn't have fake out, so it can't even get chip.
True.
And then you just get to close combat, and obviously you can switch into Clefable, but Clefable will just fall over to adaptability Bullet Punch.
Does it?
It gets +1 defense from the key if it switches in on close combat.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I guess you have the Key Berry, but even
still,
so,
like,
you're pretty sure you just
sketchy.
spam Bullet Punch.
Yeah.
If you switch into the Key Berry, Bullet Punch only does 30%, 33, and then Clef can set up.
That's insane.
That's...
I guess Clef could have won then.
Yeah.
But like, Landorus was gonna break through it. Rotom Heat was probably gonna beat it with like hacks, discharge, and Confuse Ray.
I mean, you probably know the set, Ica, but the only way the Luke's gonna win is if it's Iron Tail. But
yeah, it wasn't Iron Tail.
Yeah, it's CC, BP, SD.
Yeah.
Can the Lando break the Clef? Because SD is useless against it, so...
Nah, yeah, so the Clef just one-on-ones that.
Yeah, that was my bad. It's unaware.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the main things are like the fact that Misaka's broke Gengar both games as well. Like, really discourages you from bringing Clef, and plus you haven't seen. It could be special Lucario, for example, as well, which would like essentially do the same thing in this matchup.
I think it was definitely a risk you had to take if you're Misaka, because like he hasn't brought Clef yet, and you've brought Gengar, so you have to kind of assume that he's not going to bring Clef into a Gengar.
Yeah. You can't win from this point because Outrage just wins.
Well, unless confusion happens, but it doesn't.
Technically, you can hacks into multiple times. There's actually no point. There's no point burning well, I guess there is point burning the chump. You kind of have to hope to get confusion every turn.
Yeah.
Enough until you can get a sub up, and then like I don't know, kill it with overheat or something.
Shit. I just noticed the time. I actually have to run off to work. We have some games to go through. I wanted to watch Kaori Megazard, and that's kind of quick. But I wanted to watch Puff Plaz as the last one when the series was decided, but we literally don't have time. We spent too much time going through these other games.
I mean, we can just do a summary.
Yeah, you guys can talk about
watching the full games. Basically, I think like the rest of them, like once Misaka lost to Moose and Goose, and the next one was Kaori Megazard, and I'm trying to think what exactly happened in that series because I wasn't actually awake to.
Megazard just won.
I think
just
Megazard
a comprehensive
just won,
win.
Like,
Yeah.
It was cool because Megazord had been talking about Sash Conkelder in the team during the week as an idea. And so getting to see it put in some real work in game one was fun.
I'll just open it up. It's literally like 2 4-turn games.
Yeah, that's GPU for you.
So Conk leans into this. We see Hidden Power flying with a flying gem as well, but Conk's like, yeah, you know what? You're gonna die here. That's a big threat gone. He just gets a Mark Punch here. Gets a crit, doesn't matter. Psychic kills. Gara comes out and just boosts on this thing.
The crit actually there is really important on the Latios, because it's I don't think it's actually shown in the set, but it's Haban Berry, the Dragon Resist. So you can't preserve it to fight off a Latios like Specstraker Meteor or something like that.
Does Haban Berry really save it from that?
With the EV spread, I believe a Specstraker from Latios does about 90%. It does about 70% because it's max HP. It's got bulk investment.
Oh, in my practice, I think it did almost 90%. Oh, maybe it's just a higher. I thought it was 90% though. Well, like
way,
80 to 90.
He locked into Dragon Pulse, so that would definitely live that.
Absolutely not. Yeah, that would live.
So it lived from that range, yeah.
Because then you can kind of switch Suicune into you can probably switch Suicune into Gara, and I don't know. I guess it doesn't matter too much. I think game 2.
Alright, this is definitely the last game we're watching. As soon as this one's, we're ending. I don't have any more time.
I think it only takes like 10 turns this game anyways. Yeah, probably Scarflander's T.
So what's really interesting with this Conk is because it's Sash with Drain Punch, the Suicune can't switch out because it would Drain Punch back up to full. And essentially restore its Sash. So it has to stay in and just keep scolding this, which weakens it enough that it's in U-turn range. Oh, but he goes for Quake. Okay.
It doesn't actually have to do that because you can scald once and switch into Latios. But I guess I guess
Rotom,
Kowie's
wow.
fearing like an ice punch on the predicted switch.
Oh, Gen 5 Rock Tomb.
And yeah, a nice double into
Lando on the Draco.
I don't think it would have mattered anyways. Volt, I'm pretty sure Volt lives.
Yeah, would have taken
Draco
it
Meteor.
based off that damage.
Well, no, well,
But it's worth scouting
33,
for.
It would have been doubled. It
wasn't revealed
Volt.
to be not Dragon Gem yet, I don't think. So we didn't see Latias's item in any of the games. So if it was Dragon Gem, the Volk would have just died. Could have been Tailwind Dragon Gem.
Yeah, if he'd have got the psychic play on the Lando, he probably could have won game 2. It depends on the role on the Volcarona. Draco, that Volk's probably got no defense investment, but Latios isn't actually that strong.
Oh, I still got the
But yeah, I think
thing on.
basically like I think Plastic's games are both like 3-0s or 3-1s. I think like the thing there was like we'd lost a few games in a row, so I think Puff was feeling a bit of pressure. But you know, it happens.
Well, Puff had to play for the win. It's a real shame we can't go through Puff's game because it was an interesting series, but I really have to go, dudes. So
let's also remind everybody that you did stream that, so they can go watch the.
That's true, I did. So if you guys want to check out my stream from yesterday, it is a 5-hour stream. I had a marathon one, but it's right at the start, like literally at the start of the stream. So just load it up, skip ahead maybe 10 minutes, because we had to wait around for Plaz and Puff to show up. But it's right at the start. So if you guys want to watch that, I'll highlight it and post it separately somewhere once I get back from work. I was going to do it yesterday, but I forgot. Yeah, and GE commentated as well, so you guys are in for a real treat watching that one. But yeah, so I'll have that game up on YouTube pretty soon. But we can go through some other games when I stream on Thursday, aka Wednesday night for everybody else in the States and Europe and everything. But yeah, I gotta go. You guys want to say see you later?
Yeah, see you later.
I just want to say before I head off, thanks you guys for coming out every week and helping me commentate on this. I couldn't have done it on my own. It would have just been me talking and super biased about my team and trashing on all the people I don't like. So it's good having you guys here to balance that out, even if it was all Inkays.
Yeah, well.
And there was a Farseer and a Luxray. I forgot about Jmal and Greil.
Shout out to Puff as the only 8-time podcast.
Yeah. It's pretty much Puff's podcast.
Yeah, Puff is the GOAT.
It should have been on Puff's stream, let's be honest.
Yeah, no, you're right. Because then if it was on Puff's stream, we wouldn't have to end right now.
Yeah.
There's some better music
The party
too.
would go on.
Hang on, I'll just give Puff remote access to my PC and he can just run the stream from now on. I'll head off to work. Anyway, yeah, sweet. Well, if we do another one of these in the coming weeks, we'll see you then. Otherwise, hopefully you guys will jump into my stream when I just ladder or play another game. Go check out Ika's Twitch. What is it? It's Iki Musume 1?
1. There you
Right.
go.
Puff's is just Puff Killer. Or do you have Twitch or is it just YouTube?
I have Twitch and YouTube and stream and yeah. What's it called? Yeah, Twitch, YouTube, and the other one, Twitter.
Oh, good. And it's all just Puff Killer.
Yeah, pretty much.
Hell yeah. No one else has anything else. Am I right?
No need to plug.
All right. Anyway, guys, I'll see you in the next stream. Peace out.